ride.
Welcome everyone to the Droid Forums News Brief, where we cover the hot news topic for the week. So it's been a real busy week these past 2 weeks with Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday. So we're gonna get right into it.
Hey everybody, we have the Moto 360 commercials is one of the hot topics of the week. Basically, my perspective on it, I kind of like the commercials, but I'd rather just talk about the watch itself, which is kind of what happened in the thread.
Right.
I like the Moto 360, but I'm not yet ready for a smartwatch personally. If I were, it would definitely be the Moto 360. It's a fantastic, gorgeous looking device.
Agreed.
I wish it could make phone calls, which would make me want one. I kind of agree with Ollie in the forums, and he said, something about when he leaves the house, if he forgets his smartphone, he doesn't want to have to go back to get it.
Yeah.
And so if you have a watch that's also a cell phone, that he makes a great point from that regard.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. The Moto 360 is pretty awesome. Beautiful, beautiful smartwatch. I've liked it since it came out. And just real quick comments about the commercial. I thought they were really, really well done. Great commercials. They really feature the watch, and then they got some humor in there. Talking about burritos and Chad. So
yeah, their production values were very good and very creative.
Yeah, yeah, and I gotta mention you out there, Foxcat. You gotta get it, man. You have to pull the trigger on it. You got that credit, $3,000 credit waiting for you. So pick it up, man. I would, or send it my way. I'll use it. All right. So next up is the Star Wars. The Star Wars trailer, man, it's making tons of heat on the internet. Everybody's talking about it. I really don't have a lot to say. Stormy, J.J. Abrams is directing it. I don't like him as a director. I'm not going to go see it. That's all I really have to say on it, man.
Fair enough, fair enough. It's interesting that this is one of our hot topics of the week, considering it's not Android related at all. Mm-hmm. But of course it is, a cultural phenomenon for the U.S. And probably the world. So I guess it's understandable. I'd have to say I'm happy they shared a teaser. Although I found it a little lacking, and maybe that's just because I wanted to see more. I wish they had showed me more. And also, interesting comment. I actually like the new Sith lightsaber, even though it's a bit silly. And I kind of agree with Jay Stafford 1. He points out that he doesn't think that it's meant to be all that defensive and deflective of the other lightsabers. I think it's more of an offensive weapon for when you're up in close quarters. You can actually get some extra damage in at strange angles. Yeah, I guess that's me geeking out a little bit.
All right.
So moving along to the next object of discussion. Sprint. Sprint has a new plan called Cut Your Rate in Half. From doing some digging, there's a little between the lines that they don't tell you. I mean, that they don't make clear, I should say. Mm-hmm. The phone you actually kind of have to pay for on top of the half-rate plan. So in a way, this is really only about a 20% savings from the other carriers, at&t and Verizon. That still seems pretty good. Overall, I think it's a solid deal in some areas. I have Sprint and have used them since 1999 across the country, and I've always had good service. Mm-hmm. I've seen areas where Sprint was actually a bit better than Verizon. Mm-hmm. So I think the idea that Big Red's network is always better is partially a myth, and or just marketing hyperbole. Regardless, for some, this could be a solid value. What do you think, buddy?
Well, I'm really not going for this deal, and you already mentioned the first one. Sprint's already come out and says you're only really saving 20% on this whole deal because you have to, you buy the equipment, and I get that. But also, wanted to mention something with Mo Daddy. He picked up on that there's usage limitations, and that they're going to be essentially to improve the data experience for the majority of users. They're going to kind of limit the bandwidth. So if you're on this plan, they're going to limit your bandwidth during busy times, and I get that because they want to keep people like you happy. So, with that said, I get it, but you know what? I mean, I wouldn't leave Verizon. Verizon has been exceptional. They're really good. So it's not enough to entice me to move over. So
gotcha. Thanks for your input.
Yeah. So last up, speaking of Star Wars, is the YotaPhone 2.
That's the wrong Yoda, dude.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, Yoda's spelled with a D.
Oh, right.
I knew you knew that.
Yeah, the YotaPhone too. Yeah, nice specs, Stormy. But I'm gonna, the two full displays. I just don't see a real, real reason for it. I get what they're trying to do, and I appreciate they're trying to, think outside the box and do that. But I don't know. I just really do not see. If I had it, I really wouldn't use it, to be honest with you. And plus, I mentioned the 2,500 milliamp per hour battery.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be an issue, and Gremlin did pick up on that as well. He sourced Engadget, and they're already talking about the battery life is not that great. But kind of have to wait till this phone hits and see if that pans out or not. But nah, not feeling this phone, dude.
You know what, buddy? I'm in mostly perfect alignment with you. I like the outside-the-box thinking, just like you said. It's kind of an innovative idea. I think it's cool that they're getting creative and trying to come up with new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's probably a waste. If you read a great deal in the outdoors, then it seems pretty good. It seems fine.
Yeah.
It could fill a niche in the market, but I can't see myself getting it.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like, a neato gizmo. It's just kind of a cool gadget, but I'm not really sure how useful it's going to be. I must admit, I laughed out loud at Thunderbolt Nick's point about this being the ultimate butt dial phone. That's too true.
Good point. All right, well, that is it for this week, folks. And please remember, make sure you leave your comment in these news stories, because you never know when we may feature you in one of our Droid Forums news briefs. So yeah, please participate. Yeah, so I guess we'll see you next time.
That's right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the forums.